How does your country disappoint you? Mandatory military service for 2 years at age 18-21. Mandatory 10 cycles of to 3-week military retraining every year until you're 40. Literally forced to take time off work just to do some bullshit military crap. If you're overseas or on vacation, you're forced to come back or face jail time. The last 3 times I did this, I just sat in my military camp browsing TIK to KS. American was able to migrate out. Racism against Asians is hand-waved because we got it easy, we assimilate easy. Let's not get started with the rise in Black on Asian crime because, especially during COVID times, apparently, we just have to live with it because we don't have it as bad as others. As someone who marched for George Floyd, it was very bleak hearing that. It seems like to me most of the people who make the laws and control our government are not exactly operating with every citizen's best interest at heart. So many parts of it are sad, including the salaries and pensions these politicians make is crazy, yet our teachers and even some of our cops don't make shit. I do love my country, but some parts of it are frustrating. By simultaneously clapping for and destroying the NHS publicly funded healthcare, by shaming and making life hard for immigrants who make up much of the NHS workforce, by spending lots of history taking over countries, and then turning down those who turn to the mother country for support. Philippines. Region connectivity problems date back to the 90s. And the only solutions the smart people in politics did were mostly road widening projects and maybe to train lines that don't go outside the metro. The result? We're a worse version of Jakarta, Bangkok. The cost of living, it's too costly, especially for disabled people. Wish I could wake up in Switzerland and know what free housing, free college, and free healthcare is like. The land of the free is more like land of the overworked and underpaid. Attention everyone. I'm 59-year-old male. I'm not the smartest, but I know where I live. I know what day it is. I don't go around sniffing women's air. And I don't like ice cream cones. Will you vote for me for president? I'm qualified, right? The fact that so many people still support Trump. We know he is a conning traitor who wants to demolish our form of government by his own words, and yet these people will ignore logic, reason and facts in service to this orange card. We keep putting people into office who have no business being there. If some of these people were hired by private corporations, they would have been fired very fast. The voter need to take a real look at who they pick to make the laws. Bosnian government disappoints me. How they're using money. A lot of money is taken into politicians' hands. We have a politician who has assets worth 1 billion euros. And he has been active since Bosnia got independence. We have, every 4 years, the opportunity to pick someone among many candidates who isn't part of either of the 2 parties that have been making our country progressively worse. We reliably waste such opportunities. Absurdly high medical costs, vehicle-centric infrastructure, only like 5 cities with good public transportation. Gated communities, monopolistic companies like Apple and Disney, lack of strong multilateral diplomacy. Mass torture of mental health patients to the extent of causing suicides, fire beatings, ECT, lobotomies, and over-medication just to induce chain suicide attempts that they can profit off of. Waves the American flag. American here, I hate that the rich and powerful are above the law. This has the corrosive effect of undermining faith in our judicial system and the rule of law. There are truly two justice systems. By playing musical chairs with prime ministers. We didn't vote in Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak. One almost sunk the GBP, and the other is engaged in an all-out war against the disabled. It's embarrassing. It gives billions away for funding wars while I'm still homeless on the street going on for years. How about instead of funding wars, you hold some freaking peace talks? In my country, Kenya, the general died. And during his burial they made a bad road connecting to his burial place in a day. This road has been in bad shape for decades. Affordable housing and the complete lack of it. 3rd most expensive city Europe for rental costs. Euro 1,500 a month for a room so small that you couldn't swing a cat. Can we get a candidate that is still breathing? If I'm not allowed to drive heavy equipment on an OSHA job site at 65, they shouldn't get to drive the country. By not passing the voice to Parliament, so much of Australia is uneducated in relation to Indigenous or Australian affairs and don't care enough to research it. People have become complacent overall. The more there are of us, the less we feel we have an impact. The indoctrination of civic duty is long forgotten. You should have asked people for the reason. Everyone here is going like ... Oh my God, I hate the person they elected. I won't elaborate why though. USA. The crooked people in the government manipulating the people. There are some good people in the government. By electing a president who does not know where he is, what's going on, only because of what the news says. Belgian bias, internal divisions, the petty debates and the lack of imagination of our representatives. They keep making all people richer at the expense of everyone because they are the largest voting group. Being a doctor, working for more than 10 years with postgraduate degree, getting $160 a month salary. Our representatives no longer represent the people. They are mostly wealthy representing the wealthy. The growing disconnect between our country, United States of America, and the needs of its people. By allowing the military to run politics behind the scenes and destroying the country as a result. By being allowed to run by cunning men who exploit religion to rob stupid herds of people. They have all this money to give to other countries, but won't help their own citizens. Re-electing the son of a dictator that made the country suffer through martial law. Our leader is a moron. He is purposely destroying our country because he hates us. Not enough support for Ukraine and Israel. Too much patience with USA and China. Too many people who voted for a Bond villain impersonator named Geert Wilders. Most people care more about their political party than they do the country. By acting like religious zealots when the topic of gun control is raised. A Duterte followed by a second Marcos with a second Duterte as vice president. Full of racists, nationalists and hateful boomers with no empathy. UK. The division. It's killing us. Everyone seems to have a hill to die on. By electing government officials who is clearly not cut for the job. Brexit, like shooting yourself in the foot and blaming the gun. Denmark, honesty, the lack of nature. I want mountains, man.